Hello guys and welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to take a look at the new starter ship, which I quite frankly find it to be absolutely incredible. We are talking about the Gatac Syulen. This ship, for a starter ship, is extremely impressive. I am very surprised with the amount of detail that CIG have put into this ship. It is incredible internally and externally. It has some unique design ideas they've put into this ship, and for me personally, I think it's absolutely fantastic for a starter ship. It's able to carry external SCU. It has plenty of firepower for a ship that is a starter ship and is incredibly unique. Now, I've always been a fan of the alien tech because it allows CIG to free their minds, so to speak, and come up with new, fresh and innovative ideas when it comes to shipbuilding. And this particular one is a great example of what CIG are more than capable of producing, which gives me hope for future alien ships, especially the BMM, because this ship is superb. It is exquisite, and we can only assume then, by that very definition, that the Banu Merchantman is going to follow suit. So this incorporates numerous amounts of Xi'an tech, designed to be used by Xi'ans and humans. There's elements to both species in this ship, and I personally really want to pick one up, but I'm just trying not to. But it is just absolutely incredible. I think any new player that picks up one of these is going to be very impressed, very happy. Imagine a new player sitting in this ship for the first time. He is probably going to be not like anything else he or she has experienced in gaming. I'm very fond of this ship already. It looks amazing. So that's enough gushing about it for now. Let's talk about some of the aspects of the ship that really sell that alien vibe. Well, first of all, let's start by talking about the shape of this particular ship. It is very bold, almost aggressive, in its flight configuration. There are two configurations, obviously, flight and landing. The ship itself appears to be quite mechanical, but even those mechanical parts that are exposed are still very intricate in their design. Lots of lighting going on here, and it looks absolutely brilliant. Detail-wise, there's just so much to absorb, and when this ship is in its landing configuration, it is towering above you. It does make an impact. I think new players that try this ship for the first time are finally going to get a taste of what CIG are capable of, because it is absolutely incredible, and it doesn't matter which way you look at this ship. Every angle is extremely interesting. It's possibly the best starter ship, and the price kind of reflects that a little bit. I think it's around $70. Now, the Cutter, we know, is a fantastic starter ship, but this is a whole new level. Sure, 6 SCU is almost certainly going to be useful for any player, but the fact that this ship has the looks, the intriguing design, it handles really well, and of course the firepower. So you're not going to die immediately when you're out on your first journeys in this ship. So there really is a lot going for this. And let's not forget, this is Gatac's first attempt at breaking into the civilian market, and it's a starter ship, and that's pretty impressive for their first attempt. They do have another one, which is the Raylin, which is a mid-sized cargo hauling ship. So judging by the quality of this one, I think the Raylin will almost certainly be something to look forward to. We will see what they are able to produce, but as things stand, I've got high hopes for it, because this particular ship has certainly piqued my interest. So let's talk about some of the features. So cargo, it has 3 cargo racks on the exterior, each of which can carry 2 times 1 SCU boxes for a total of 6. There is also a 6 SCU of stowage and a 0.65 SCU stowage compartment underneath the bed. Agility. The Sulen is a very agile ship for its size and shape, thanks to 24 maneuvering thrusters, 3 retro thrusters and 6 main thrusters. It is capable of 19 G of acceleration, and it offers an SCM speed of 200 meters per second. Weapons. The ship is comparably well armed with 3 size 3 gun mounts and 12 size 2 missiles on custom non-removable racks. Range. The Sulen features a 2,900 litre quantum fuel tank instead of the standard 583 litres. For a ship of this size class, empowering operators to install fast, size 1 quantum drives that would ordinarily have restrictive range limitations. The Sulen, a ship produced by Gatac manufacturer, has been skillfully designed by the esteemed house Gatak to cater to the needs of both human and Xi'an pilots. Boasting a sleek and nimble structure, the Sulen is perfectly suited for transporting crucial shipments throughout the vast expanse of the universe. Additionally, it serves as an excellent choice for aspiring transport professionals embarking on their career journey. So very versatile, but listen to this ship's sound. I really do like that noise because it reminds me of the Banu Defender, which sounds very unique in itself. The cockpit is surprisingly brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. Floating MFDs, we've got sort of drifting RGB lights around the MFDs. It's controlled by 2 spheres, because don't forget, this is a Xi'an tech ship, so designed to be flown by both human and Xi'an species. And you can see it's operated by manipulating the balls, control balls, if you can call them that. In the cockpit, it's just a fantastic place to sit. It's fairly unique animation getting in and out of the cockpit itself. Even the detail and transitions in the animations of how they get the pilot in and out is pretty extraordinary, because when you're parked on the hangar, you're facing the ceiling. It's very bizarre to get used to it at first, but even behind the seat of the cockpit, you can see all the mechanical areas of the ship still have elegance to them, with the lighting and the steam. So this is directly behind the cockpit seat, sort of down that lift, if you can call it that transports you to and from. It's very, very unique. Honestly, I can't say that enough. So here we have the ship in its landing configuration, and as you can see, the cockpit is facing directly towards the sky, and when you enter the ship in the hangar, you are physically facing the roof and or ceiling of the hangar that you're in, and it's a little bit confusing to get in and out, but fairly simple to pick up. The only qualm and worry I have about that is, as we see the Gravlev stairs here, which are of course really, really cool, I think landing and taking off in and around the moons and planets might be a little bit risky, because your landing's quite tricky, I'm not going to lie, but the skilled pilots will quickly pick that up. Internally then, as we go up those wonderful Gravlev stairs, we've got a Gravlev lift. We have the components each side of the entry point of the ship here. Gun rack, which is awesome. That is by far the best gun rack in the game. Next to that is the armory suite, armory locker, sorry, if you can call it that. Then we have the Gravlev lift that we can get in, go up. It's just awesome in here. Lots of sort of purplish tinted lights. Everywhere you look is very ambient, and I love what they've done with, like, they've tried to make it Xi'an's like nature, and they've made it cave-like, and it's reflected really well. How they've done that, I don't know. It's just mind-blowing to me. But then I am an Alien fanboy, and the looks are completely subjective. But I'm fairly infatuated with this ship. I'm very impressed, way more than I thought I was going to be. There is an ensuite as well, a bathroom area for you to use. That looks like a sink. That's actually a Xi'an toilet, because they do their business a different way from us, because of course they do. It's like a sink, so you might actually be washing your hands in a Xi'an toilet. Now that is a very disturbing thought, isn't it? But cool nonetheless. And then finally there is a top deck. So this ship, starter ship with 3 decks, that's very, very interesting in itself, and yeah, very impressive. And then the seat and the animation is, look at this, look at that, that's amazing. I'm sorry, but that is amazing. I think it's very clever how CIG have managed to put all of this alien tech into a ship, make it work with all the various intricate animations, and just develop a ship that is mechanically sound and yet extremely pretty and sort of exuberant at the same time, and still incorporate bags of function into a starter ship. So credit where it's due. You might not like the looks. Like I said, they are subjective, but for me, internally, I think is more impressive than externally, with how they've managed to capture some of the Xi'an lore and incorporate it into the ship, but also make it usable by the human race. So that was the bottom floor we just saw there. This is the second deck, where you have your bed. Now, I do apologise for this ship is very tight internally, and it was quite difficult for me to manipulate the camera to get it where I wanted it to be. So here you have your bed. Underneath is a stowage area, and having a bed is always a massive plus because it allows you to log out of the game wherever you are and then log back in and pick up exactly where you left off. Here we have the bathroom area with that unique Xi'an toilet and our own personal human toilet, and even the animation of the toilet roll popping out is just excellent. So it all seems very posh and exuberant to us humans, but Xi'an's is just normal business for them, right? There's that sort of cave-like roof we can see here with that excellent lighting. I don't know how they've managed to put this together. And then the top floor finally is the cockpit area. This is the cockpit seat at the very bottom before it puts you into the cockpit itself. So this is in its before you get in animation state, if you will. Now, I did have a thought about this ship could be quite useful as a ferrying ship from, say, like a Polaris to an Idris, just to shuttle things across from ship to ship, maybe sharing supplies, or even as a light fighter. This ship, because it's directly pointing at the ceiling, you could literally just hit the gas and zip straight out of that hangar and go deal with any potential threat or things of that nature. And the other cool thing with the alien ships, which I really enjoy, is they have their own unique quantum drive experience. So as you can see here, they demonstrated it very well. And having something as simple as a different quantum drive traveling experience, you know, it does add to that sort of uniqueness that the aliens have. I think the Banu's isn't even the same as this. I think it's like a pulsing green circle. So it's a different element to the QT travel, which I think adds to that aurora of being in an alien vessel. It's just a very unique way of getting around the verse, and it kind of reinforces the fact that you're in a completely different species get around vehicle. Weapon wise, well, let's talk about this for a starter ship. So we have 3 size 3 weapons to be found on board this particular starting ship. That's a lot of firepower for a starting ship, and to accompany that pretty formidable amount of firepower is also a large supply of missiles. 12 size 2 missiles, and they look really good. The launchers, like the even the animation for the launchers looks really cool. I really enjoy that sort of marbling effect that they've put on the exterior of this ship. The mechanical parts are unique in themselves, but this marbling on the front of the ship when it's in its flight configuration is pretty cool. And the paints, there are some separate paints on sale as well, and some of those look really epic. So firepower wise, for a new player or even a veteran, you're quite happy with the firepower for this particular ship. It's not lackluster. You're not going to die immediately. You are almost certainly going to be able to go bounty hunting in this ship and make money that way. But just the experience of being in this ship, it's a very pleasant place to be. So we've got the firepower, we've got ridiculous amounts of maneuverability. The ship handles really well. It's extremely rapid. You know, as I said before, 19G acceleration. So plenty of snap your neck capabilities built into the ship. Maneuvering, not a problem. It just it goes. This thing zips. And because of the way it's designed and it's the way it handles, you know, able to take 6 SCU box delivery missions are obviously easily done in this. Bounty hunting almost certainly to an extent, with its firepower and its missiles. Then of course racing, possibly an option. I haven't tried it, but you know, there's a few game loops. Bunker busting, bunker missions. This ship could also do it. It has the gun rack and the ability to log out wherever you are in the verse. So versatility, utility, firepower, combat, racing, whatever it might be, the Sulen should be up to the task. Okay, so let's now take a look at the weapons and components that we will find if you decide to pick one of these up via the website or eventually in game when it goes on sale. So it's £70 on $70 on the website, and it will come equipped with the following components, which are stock. I haven't played around with the ship long enough at all to recommend any components, so we're just going to discuss what it comes with. Cooler, it has a blast chill, which is a size 1 grade 4 civilian cooler. Don't know enough about it, to be honest with you. The power plant is a light blossom. This is a size 1 grade 3, and it is a civilian class power plant. Moving on to the quantum drive, we have the Fox Fire, which is a size 1 grade 2, and this is a competition QT drive to be found on the Sulen. And then we do have 2 shield generators, which is pretty interesting in itself for a starter ship, which is the Hex, and this is a size 1 grade B, but it is a civilian shield power plant. Conveniently, all of these are stored away internally, and it's very easy to manage this ship, especially when we get resource management. It's really not that much of an issue, I don't think. Weapon wise, we have obviously the 12 missiles, and these are the Ignite 2s, and these are infrared size 2 grade 1 missiles. And then finally we have 3 Panther repeaters. Now these are fairly well known, size 3 grade 1, very popular weapon systems, the repeaters. A lot of ships have them, they're effective and they look cool. So not a bad list of components, I think, for a stock ship. Upgrade paths would be down to you. I haven't tested it enough. I mean, weapon wise, the ship's pretty much catered for. You could swap these out for 3 Gatlings and go mental. This ship with Gatlings would be a sight to behold, I think. 3 maybe Mantis on there if they are size 3. I can't really remember, but maybe some Gatlings instead of repeaters. For everything else, we will now take a look at the brochure. So the role starter, length 25 meters in its flight configuration, 20 landed, width 28 in its flight configuration and 22 landed, height 16 in its flight configuration and 15 meters landed, seats times 1, so you won't be taking any passengers unless you get someone laying down on the bed, of course. Quantum fuel tank 2 size 1s, fuel tank 2 size 1s, power plant 1 times size 1, shield generator 2 size 1s, radar 1 times size 1, quantum drive 1 size 1, main thrusters 6, maneuvering thrusters 24 plus 3, pilot controlled weapons 3 times size 3, and then finally wrapping up the long list of components and gizmos and things, we have 12 size 2 missiles. I actually think as well that this ship could be pretty useful in a fleet as like a taxi to taxi or ferry to ferry from ship to ship during a battle, because of its unique agility and speed and the potential to defend itself. You could easily zip, I don't know, let's pretend that we've got the hospital variant of Galaxy that needs to operate alongside a couple of Apollos, but your Apollos are running low on supplies, and a ship with 6 SCU with this rapid speed and rapid deployment of medical supplies could prove very useful. I think there could be a numerous amount of roles that this particular ship would be fairly useful to have in and around a fleet. If anything, for the speed and its carrying capabilities, along with that firepower for the self-defense, should it need it. So there's quite a lot going for this starter ship, let's be honest, and it kind of makes me think that this is now the best, or if not one of the best, starter ships that we have in game. So let's now talk about the landing and flight configuration. As you can see, it's pretty cool. Very nice, smooth, sort of relaxing animation, and the cargo areas of the ship tuck in and out as well, almost like a flower animation. You know, when you see the flowers react to the sun in the morning, the bloom kind of reminds me of that sort of act of nature, which would make sense as well, because the Xi'ans are fairly close to nature. I don't know if they have flowers. It was just an interpretation I had that kind of reminds me of a petal or something opening up. Very cool indeed. So what we need to do now, guys, is wrap this video up, or at least begin to, but we'll do that after we've taken our walk around of the ship and have a physical tour of it. I like to do that for a sense of scale. I think it's quite important. Again, it's one thing for me to show you cool images and whatnot. It's completely different to get the sense of scale. So here we are in the landing configuration in the hangar, of course, and it is a very ominous presence. Obviously, now the landing gear themselves are part of the wings, if you can call them wings, and the way it's shaped, it's a very sort of impactful presence that the ship portrays to you. When I first saw it in the hangar, I was like, oh my god. It's, yeah, very impactful. Everywhere you look, the angles, the lights, the tints of purple, the ambient light on it, the mechanical parts, the functional parts, the weapon systems, all look the part, in my humble opinion. And even the cargo scoops, if you can call them that, blend into the ship. You know, you wouldn't think that they are actively part of the cargo carrying capacity of this particular Sulen from Gatak. You know, it blends in well. I think it's really, really well done. Okay, so what we need to do now is make our way in this behemoth of a starter ship with 3 decks. And to do that, we need to go to the airlock and press this button and watch that Xi'an tech do its thing. Hover steps, gotta love that. So in we go. And here we are. So much purple lighting in here. So we'll close this off. If I can press the button correctly, and I can. Even that animation looks absolutely superb. Components, let's have a look. Very easy to get to. So resource management is not going to be a problem in this ship unless you have some sort of issue during flight, which requires you to take the lift. But other than that, maintenance on the ground is going to be very simple. Armor locker there. Let's close this up. It's so cool. It really is. Really cool. That's a shame. I thought it was just wide enough for a human to fit in. Apparently not. It would just be your suit. Okay. Next we have the other component bay of the ship. And there are some components missing. I think the battery will go in that particular slot. Or at least I would have thought so. Because the ships are going to start relying on batteries for extra power and all that sort of stuff. Which will be interesting to see that gameplay. Can't wait for resource management. Until I'm in my bigger ships and that becomes a headache. But look at the ceiling. It's so awesome in here. Really atmospheric. Really makes you feel like you're on a alien ship. They've captured it really well. Then we go up to the second deck here. The lift is a little bit staggery there. That'll get ironed out, I'm sure. And we have the bathroom, which is in itself very... I kind of want to say it reminds me of the spa a little bit on the Origin 890 jump in some aspects. But look at the toilet roll animation there. Even that is completely, totally over-engineered. Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. Toothbrush and toothpaste, obviously very important. Brush your teeth. Obviously, you're going to be brushing your teeth in the Xi'an toilet. That's humorous. That is quite funny. So this is like the Xi'an toilet here, which is like doubles up for a human sink, I guess. Yeah. Interesting concept. Let's leave it like that. But, you know, it's just basic sanitation, but it does look very, very nice in here. And again, that cave kind of ceiling. And we exit. We have the bed, and we have this button here, which retracts and extracts a seat that we can sit on. If I can get the prompt, there we go. So we can hop on here. Now, I'm not entirely sure if this is supposed to be some sort of computer or just a resting space. I I'm not entirely sure. So if you could let me know in the comments, that would be great. But it is a function, and I couldn't find the information if they talked about that or not, or I missed it. So if you could let me know what that is, because I don't actually know. Here we have the bed, which is perfect for a starting ship. The ability to log out is always a win-win, especially as the game develops and we get into bigger systems. That will prove crucial and extremely useful. And then finally we make our way up to the top deck, where we have this intricate, wonderful cockpit cabin area of the ship, again with some more storage for components tucked away, and you can see all the metal and struts. Now I'm not entirely sure what that is going to be for, if I'm being quite honest. I have no idea. And some more intricate, I mean, everywhere you look is just, and that's a mechanical part of the ship. It just looks so incredible in here. It really does. Like, the whole ship is just amazing. And then we have another one here with an empty space. So maybe the batteries go up here in this area, I don't know, or jump drives or something of that nature. Although I don't think this ship has a jump drive. I was just sort of freestyling it there. And as you look up, that's where we need to get to. So we're going to hop in the pilot seat now. And this is probably the best animation from seat to cockpit in the entire game. That entire journey from bottom to top is longer than any other ship that I've been in, and you have all those metal blades and things spinning in your face. How cool is that? And then the cockpit itself is just absolutely fantastic. Visibility is obstructed here and there, but it's not enough to get mad about or bitch and moan and say, oh, I hate it. You know, you're not going to notice after you've been in the seat and flying the ship for long enough. But again, plenty of purple. Look, notice how the RGB, if they are RGB, sort of LED purple strips, they pulse around the MFDs. But yeah, unfortunately we are staring at the roof of the hangar, and it is something that kind of throws you off. We have all the buttons listed in human text, which is nice, and we're able to read it, so they do function. Headlights, exit, hailing, and then we have power, radar, engine, weapon shield, and self-destruct. Obviously do not press that button because bad things will happen to you. No ejection handle in this ship, no quick escape route, so pick your battles wisely. But overall, a very, very nice cockpit. Extremely pleasant, very sci-fi. They've captured it so well. Let's be honest, I'm going to end up buying one of these ships, aren't I? Yeah, probably. So there we go, guys. That was my video on the new starter ship. That is the Gatac Syulen, and it is absolutely fantastic. Thank you very much for watching. If you enjoyed today's video, and I hope you did, you know what buttons to press, and I of course will have more Star Citizen content en route to you soon. Thanks guys, cheers.